Social behavior change communication, what are they, and why do we need to actually talk about them? Social behavior change communication, or SBCC as we commonly refer to it, refers to the coordination of messages and activities across a variety of channels to reach multiple levels of society, including the individual, the community, the services, as well as policy levels. One of the very frequent examples of social behavior change communication is the Pulse Polio campaign called Do Boond Zindagi Ki. You must remember Amitabh Bachchan, was the face of the campaign, and many, CSOs and government machineries were actually involved in eradicating polio from India. The campaign ran for many, many years. Closer home, I'm going to talk about two very interesting campaigns. One is Navrangire, which is a 26-episode television drama that actually sought to build awareness and shift attitudes and practices around fecal sludge management, or how you manage your shit. It was a partnership with the government of India, with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Viacom 18, which an entertainment company, Ashoka University Center for Behavior Change, and it was produced by BBC Action Media, which is a global organization focused on social behavior change communication and is an expert at that. It reached about 59.6 million people. And what it did was that it actually made people call out the insanitary practices of your neighbors in managing, fecal sludge. And 37% of the viewers said that they will do something about fecal sludge management after watching the serial. A lot of resources, but what is very important to focus on this is the partnership. Coming to Breakthrough, in 2008, Breakthrough launched a campaign called Bell Bajao. It asked men and boys to stand up and take action on violence against women by a simple act like ringing the bell. Bell Bajao became a metaphor for taking action the world over. The campaign was copied in 9 countries, including China. It was in Mandarin. We reached 243 million people in 2 phases in partnership with the government of India. And even now, many, many years after the campaign has run, there is request for that campaign from many social sector organizations, many government organizations from outside also approach us for that. The thing is that at scale, SBCC has to be simple, sharp, tested, evidence-based campaign design that is easily replicable. You can do it. I mean, if you looked at the campaign that they copied, the Bell Bajao campaign that they copied in Malaysia or China, it was such an easy job to just transfer because some of the milieus are also quite similar. It has to be sustainable, engaging messaging that runs for a long time. For Bell Bajao, we ran it from 2008 to 2013. Pulse Polio, you all know, ran for a long time. So it has to be sustainable and over a long time. And there has to be testing done, across the various intervention platforms. And you can use a combination of platforms. You can use, you can use mass media, television, radio, all of that. You can use mid-media, which is like a video van or a rickshaw that goes through the villages, talking about the campaign and the messaging. You can use ambient media like hoardings and, billboards, wall writing that's done a lot in villages. And of course, the omnipresent social media that is now available to all of that. What is at the heart of SBCC? Human behavior. That's at the heart of SBCC. Individuals act according to culturally influenced identities, and the social hierarchies. Just for an example, when we worked in early marriage in Jharkhand and Bihar, even if the parent of one girl were progressive enough to think that I will wait till my daughter turns 18 to get her married, the feeling in that family was that the community expects you to behave in a certain way. And that is why you think the community expects you to get your child married early. Not, and what will the community say if the girl's sitting at home not doing anything, right? So you get the girl married early. It's a very complex, culturally induced behavior. And that is why you need a long time to actually change that behavior. And if you do not change that behavior, things might go well for a few days and then you revert back to that kind of a behavior. SBCC is grounded in evidence. You have to create evidence at the onset of the campaign. You have to work on a basis of existing data and follow a very systematic process to analyze the problem in order to define barriers and motivations to change and design a comprehensive set of very tailored interventions across all the platforms that I just mentioned. One of the things that we must remember is a socio-ecological aspect of SBCC. What does that mean? A social ecological model is really something that takes into account an individual who usually act in the context of their families, their communities, their societies, the market, that entire Bazaar Samaj Sarkar. And if you put that individual in that Bazaar Samaj Sarkar, the behaviors are different. The way I behave as a CEO of Breakthrough is not the way I'm behaving in this panel, right? But there are different kinds of behaviors. Effective SBCC interventions will simultaneously facilitate change in the social, physical, market, and policy environment so that the behaviors will be promoted at every level, so that you are attacking that individual from all sorts of areas and multiple messages at multiple points. So, for example, at the Pulse Polio campaign, messages for health workers were different from messages for family members, and messages for fathers were different from messages for mothers. One of the things that I'll just speak about in 2 seconds is using culture to change culture, which is very much in Breakthrough's DNA. How does that happen, So, for example, in Haryana, when a boy is born, people beat thalis in their homes to announce that a boy has been born. No such thing happens when a girl is born. In 2013, 2014, one of our colleagues, Sanjay, who has just gone through the Breakthrough training and joined our program in Haryana, had a niece born to him. And he beat the thali to announce the birth of his niece, the first one in his village to do that. So our community developers were so encouraged that they developed that action into a community intervention. So much so that in 2019, along with Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign in Haryana, we ran a month-long campaign called Thali Bajao campaign, which asked young people to celebrate the birth of their daughters. So at heart of Breakthrough is social behavior change campaigns. And I'm going to just share a very small clip with you so that you can get an idea of what a social behavior change campaign could be. One of the things that we often see is you are asked to behave in a way that you're not normally used to. And so, watch this to know what I'm.
ये टोन चेंज कर दो।
क्यों मॉम?
बदल दो।
क्यों?
क्योंकि रोज जब मैं ऑफिस जाती हूँ, कुछ लोग मुझे देखकर ऐसी ही सीटी मारते हैं। मैं सीटियों से थक गई हूँ। Share your story with your son. Don't let what happened to you happen to another woman.
So, you don't generally share your stories of sexual harassment with your son, do you? So you're being asked to adopt a behavior which is not common to you. So this campaign reached about 15 million people without us spending a lot of money on it. It was picked up by many diverse media outfits, from Scoop Hook to The Queen to the Hindu to NDTV, and even now it keeps coming back. A week ago, somebody tagged me on Twitter with this campaign. So I'm going to leave a slide with some of the learnings of doing SBCC campaigns at scale. And I just want to say that it's very important to be able to talk about gender equity here, because if you do not, reach gender equity, you will not be able to reach at least 11 of the 17 SDG goals in 2030. Thank you very much.